Hello, everybody, and welcome to Horizon Overwatch Scrim Night. We are starting off our Hype Week the right way. We've got a 4.3K Scrim available for you today, and this is the start of our Hype Week. We're going to be streaming content like this all week long, leading all the way up to our fantastic tournament we have coming up this weekend, which is a 64-team tournament. Very, very exciting. Make sure not to miss that. I am an Argender, and with me, as always, is my good friend Dancer.
Oh man, this week is going to be so crazy. We have so much content coming out. And I mean, I'm just excited for the first time this Overwatch League lull that always happens every 5 weeks. Finally, there's some content that's coming out. I mean, I'm the one producing it, but I think it's still a lot of fun. And finally, there's something to do. I find the week without Overwatch League is typically a painful one for me.
Now entering.
Yeah, but we've got not only some great content all week long, but we're going to start off with some great content, jumping straight into the thick of it, going to Kings Row, one of our favorite maps to check out. This is going to be an exciting one. You know, we really like to see a lot of good tank play on Kings Row, a lot of good tank play, but then there's also the opportunity for some fantastic Hanzo play, and it looks like KBM might be thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and I feel like Kings Row's a perfect map to start on with this new meta coming crashing in. This is going to be an amazing one. Tons of Reinhardt, I'm sure we're going to see it all day, but to start on Kings Row, I mean, you know it's going to be a good scrim if you're starting on Kings Row. That's typically the rule I have.
Absolutely, and today you are going to be watching Mythic Gaming coming up against the Chads, battling it out, starting on Kings Row to see who can come up victorious. Looks like Mythic Gaming is going to be on defense first. Very interesting here. We see them with the triple support, double tank, solo Junkrat. Very familiar scene, wouldn't you say, Dancer?
Yeah, I feel like this map has never really changed meta too much. You see a little bit of slight difference. I mean, the Junkrat wasn't always a necessary pick, of course, in the last 2 seasons. It has been, but definitely the meta I don't think has changed too much. This is probably what we're going to be used to seeing.
Yeah, and really keep your eye on the Zarya play. That's going to be probably our key to success of this game. If you watch KBM versus Brent here, really the question is going to be who gets the Graviton Surge more quickly, and who has more impactful Graviton Surges throughout the fight. So keeping your eye on Brent, keeping your eye on KBM is going to be a good idea. Doors opening in 3 seconds. The Chads looking to take this point as quickly as possible.
And there is no Moira coming out on either side. I'm pretty used to seeing the Moira when you come up with these tanky comps. But
instantly the Junkrat spam is real. Blink taking out his counterpart on the Chads. This is a dead push. They're going to wait for a full reset. It's going to take about 15 seconds off the clock due to just random Junkrat spam into the choke.
And the Chads are doing okay at actually not taking too much more spam. I think Blinky got another 7% in that reset, but...
Alright, so right away the Chads are opening up, walking straight onto point. KBM getting the first kill. Serial Killer pulling it out with another kill of his own. And then Blink pops off, gonna get 3K.
He got behind the line. No one noticed his aggressive positioning. And now it's going to be an uphill battle for the Chads because they have much less support for their Zarya.
Yeah, and this is scary. KBM, I mean, the Chads did lose the fight there, but take a look at KBM. 80% or 80 on energy, 86% to Graviton Surge versus Brent, who's only just scratching 60% right now. But Brent does take the first kill, and it's on KBM. That's a huge deal, losing all that energy. Not going to be any Graviton Surge here. And now we're on a cleanup duty with Mythic Gaming. Fantastic defense there. And so far, the first 2 real team fights, one was completely owned by Blink, getting that lucky kill. The second one, again by Blink, getting on the flank, tossing out that mine and getting a 2K with it. Let's see if Blink can reclaim some of that magic for the next push, and immediately he does, taking out Podgy. How do you respond to Blink on this Junkrat?
This is so difficult, and you see, since they have such good shielding position and such good choke spam control right now, he's been able to get that damage pocket from Lutakan the entire time. He's just getting damage boosted rockets through the choke. This is just so much value from what their comp is trying to accomplish.
KBM walking right away, getting the Graviton Surge off, but it is going to be countered by Jester Transcendence, but then a tire comes in, making the Transcendence completely useless. Here comes another tire. Let's see if it can swing the fight. Getting 1 kill, that's a lot, but it might not be enough. And now we just have damage being traded back and forth. Everybody's staying alive for so long, but finally kills are actually coming out on both sides. Most of the kills now coming in the way of the very, you know, spawn advantageous attacking team. And it looks like that was the difference maker in this fight. It was pretty equal throughout. There was a great opening strike by KBM, getting the Graviton Surge, knowing that the enemy team, the defending team, had Trance. Vex pops off with his tire and cleans up a couple kills.
Yeah, a lot of ults committed, but to get that first point, that's good. Now you're on a roll, you got that payload moving, and you're gonna do your best to cycle through these ults. But it looks like the Brigitte on the Mythic Gaming side is gonna have her ult. They're probably gonna push aggressive with this, try and win a team fight, and have armor left over for the next one.
And there it is. Rally is coming out, and expect Brent to be dropping that Graviton Surge. He's in position, looking for a good one. Does not see his opportunity, does not use it yet. And when you're 100 energy Zarya, you don't always need it, but if you do pop it, you better get 5, just like that. Blink following up, getting 2 kills. This is just cleanup at this point. Brent still is sporting over 90 energy on Zarya. That is frightening. He has 90 energy and 625 health for Brent at that moment.
And you don't need to get the 6k to be super effective. I mean, they killed 2 and immediately the Chads had to back off. They couldn't deal with it, right? You're not going to win that 6v4. So just as effective as a team wipe, winning the team fight with 1 ult.
But here's what's scary. Now we've got the Chads coming and popping beat early, looking to get a couple kills. They have plenty of ultimates to work with, and a giant shatter comes out. Bizzone is carrying the team on his back, what looked like a completely lost fight with that 5, potentially 6-man shatter. That was a giant shatter that we saw there from Bizzone. Really saved the point there, stopped the attack, and even more than that, stole some of the ultimates that came out from the Chads. Remember, they initiated with their Lucio beat, and it was all for naught.
And yeah, Biz definitely getting the advantage, blocking the shatter and then using his own. That's tremendous value, that you're equalizing your ult economy so much when you do that.
All right, so the res does come in. It's going to be a proper 6v6 for this one, but now we've got the Graviton Surge coming out from Brent. 2 kills coming in from Blink. Can Vex get this kill right here? He does on the Mercy. That might be enough, but the rest of his team needs to get some kills. They need to get them fast because their HP pools are depleting. This choke is just so advantageous. This is exactly where Mythic Gaming wants to be. This is a better defensive point than point A was. They have so many corners to fall back behind. If they do start dropping, Yo Mama taken out quickly there, so now Brent can just walk back plenty of corners, but can he make it out alive? Not like that if you get charged. Haji getting the assisting kill there, and this is going to be a team wipe for the Chads, and this is when it gets scary. On defense, the only thing that Mythic Gaming have at the moment is the Brigitte ult. They do have Trance coming online, but Crash is probably not feeling too great about getting shattered earlier by Bizzone. Really wants to make a name for himself and get a fat shatter right here.
And they're just buying space here. Really hard to re-engage on that cart when you're doing this as the Chads.
The poor Reinhardt's getting booped all over the map. Kills are being traded back and forth. Nobody has a Brigitte. Looks like Jestar is going to be using the Transcendence here, trying to keep his tanks alive, and it seems to be working.
And Bizlin getting a massive shatter once again. I mean, Crash held onto it. He got booped. I think he got bullied a little bit too much with the CC. Couldn't find an opportunity. I thought maybe he'd go for it when he got knocked over the Ryan shield into the backline. But I think it's just too dangerous with Brigitte coming out and that stun up every 5 seconds.
And it's a good thing he didn't, because he did get stunned by the Brigitte by the time he fell. Look at Bizzone right here, just getting completely crushed, a little bit out of position. And you can't do that with a team like the Chads. They know how to leverage their positioning to get kills like that. And they just got 4 off of that first kill from the Reinhardt. So this might be a point cap for the Chads.
And that was a really strong combo, one that you're going to see very common. Brigitte shield bash through the shield to get Ryan's hammer down, and then Crash basically just got a free ult there. That's one of the bigger combos you're going to be seeing in this meta, so the fact that the Chads can show off that they can do it that easily, that fluently, just walk in and get it done, that could be trouble, because that's, like I said, the biggest combo you're going to see in this meta.
Chads do have to pop Transcendence there, and the tire is taken out by Crash, popping off, taking out Blink's tire. That was really set up to do a lot of damage, take out a lot. Not gonna happen if Crash is around. And Bizzle, he will not stop. He just walks in and LMBs the enemy team with that Reinhardt cleave damage. He is just creating so many opportunities for his team, and that's what you look to see in a fantastic Reinhardt, and that's what we're seeing out of Bizzle right now. It's not just right-clicking at the choke, it's creating opportunities for your DPS to do their job, and that's exactly what Bizzle is doing right now.
And Jester got a little bit aggressive there, sitting on the cart front lining as Zen had that mercy pocket, but did get punished.
This is a scary moment for the Chats. They have the tire coming in. If they don't get a whole lot of value out of it, it's going to be very tough. And the air shot from Blink takes it out. The Chats have nothing in their arsenal right now to answer any sort of push or any sort of defense that Mythic Gaming can put together. And Blink is doing a lot of work, completely uncontested in the skies.
So much damage in behind that shield that Reinhardt's shield is not going to be able to guard it. Just getting it right above, and then that safety ult, you know it's 3 seconds left. That's going to secure the point. Really strong showing there, and I love that switch by Blink at the very end, knowing that they couldn't do anything about getting damage over the shield. Such a strong showing.
Very, very strong there. Really good defense. And what I love the most about watching Mythic Gaming there on defense is they didn't really get panicked at any point. There were a few times that the Chads looked very, very strong. They were winning team fights. A little bit of a snowball in the streets phase there for a minute. But Mythic Gaming just showing what it's like to be such a high-tier team. They know they're going to lose some of these team fights when it gets, when it gets that aggressive like the Chads are, and they don't panic. They keep an eye on their ultimate usage, and then they come back in with the counterattack, with those smart changes like we saw with the Pharah. Really, really smart play is what led them to be able to hold it on defense. Not 3 points capped by the Chads, only 2.
Yeah, and that's strong. I mean, as soon as that first point is lost, you can have a lot of troubles just sort of struggling to recapture defense. They did such a good job at holding the bridge, that little archway right after choke for the first time. And they bought probably 3 or 4 minutes just off a cycling ult and a really strong tank play around that archway. So amazing defense. I mean, it was a great offense too. Trying to play against that amazing defense is not easy either. So very, very strong showing. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen here.
Looks like we have a disconnection. Likely have to pause here, give that person a moment to get back. But I do want to talk a little bit about what's changed so much about Reinhardt play. There used to be these fantastic mind games that Reinhardts would have against each other. So when you had a Rein v Rein battle like we just saw, and like we're likely to see again between Bizzle and Crash, there was, creating space, doing all the things that you should be doing as a tank, but then also baiting out the enemy tank's Earth Shatter. And that was a really, really fun back and forth game. Now, what Brigitte did the moment she entered the meta was completely delete that side of it. There's no longer really that much of a need, because with Brigitte, she just forces that opening. If she's able to get in there and shield bash the enemy team's Reinhardt, you're not playing mind games at that point anymore. It's just your reaction time. When you see his shield go down, you hit the shatter button.
Yeah, and I don't think many people are used to this different style of counterplay. Right now, it feels really cheap. Like, Bridget can just kind of walk up and do what she wants, which is, to like an extent, it's true. But that's just because nobody's used to the counterplay yet. And I think it's going to end up being a lot more of Bridget v Bridget, where you see a Bridget's walking up on your Rhine, and you got to be the one to either take that stun or stun her first, and that's going to be where the counterplay is at. But it looks like it's going to be Bridget Rhine as an essential combo. And then running, it looks like Zarya is still in there too. So almost 2.5 tanking it, and then 2.5 supporting it. And then you throw in your 1 DPS afterwards.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. I'm sure this was planned by Blizzard to have both Brigitte and Reinhardt be, very, very connected when it comes to the lore. And then, of course, gameplay-wise, it's really obvious to see why they work so well together. Another interesting thing that we do see a lot, this is coming from high-tier Zarya players, is that the game sense that allows them to know what's going to be coming. The enemy team is likely to have a Reinhardt. You see that Brigitte even take 1 step forward towards your Rein. You better have that team shield available. And I've seen it win a lot of team fights. I mean, a perfectly placed team shield at the right time, stopping the stun, is such a huge deal. But that's why King's Row is such a fun map. You have all of this tank play, the counter play. You have to be very, very confident with your team comp. Everybody's got to work together. And then on top of all of that, you need to be keeping track of everything the enemy team's doing and having plans in place for when you see something start. And the really scary thing is with teams this good, we saw with the Chads, when it's time to go, they go. You don't have a whole lot of time to react. So the window to stop an opportunity for the enemy team is so small.
Yeah, and you're starting to see, like you said, it's all about, going, getting in there. You want to get as many team fights as possible because then you have more opportunities to win one. So you see these teams now, they're finally switching on a Lucio. I think Mythic was the only one to have it on the other side around. Or I guess they're not running it. It's only required on the side of the Chads, but I think they're definitely gonna have an advantage because they're able to press the advantage when they have it and gain that space, and they're able to back out when they don't.
All right, so we have a little bit of a switch there. Neat is now in as the Zarya player for the Chads, and that's not what the Chads wanted to see at the very beginning. They might be restarting. Sorry about the confusion here. They were restarting. I think they just got the new person in Neat, but it came a little bit too late. He was not back from spawn. So now we're going to get a full reset here of the map. It is going to be the Chads on defense. Yeah, and what was really interesting about, the Lucio here, Lucio obviously with his amp it up, it does enable you to get to where you want to go faster, but the distance between choke, the first choke when you're on attack, and where the point is, it's a very, very small distance. So you can get away with not necessarily having that Lucio. You don't always need that additional speed because there's not a very far distance to traverse. And then it seemed like what we saw from the Chads is they opted to switch it out for the Mercy, that great consistent 60 HPS healing. And then of course, her damage boost, the 30% damage boost is absolutely incredible, especially if you keep that on top of your Reinhardt. Make sure your Reinhardt stays alive in the fight, build his Shatter in 30 seconds, and then win the team fight for you. So this Mercy Reinhardt combo is very, very strong, but it really is in a position where it requires your Mercy to have a lot of game sense. She can never die. That is the most important part of this attack. If you're going to be running the Mercy, she has to be the last one to die in the team fight or not die at all, because the moment she's out, you don't have any utility.
And one thing I like that you mentioned is the damage boost to get Ryan's ult faster. One thing I think that's underrated is just that, Mercy, when you don't know what to do, just damage boost whoever's ult you need up next. You don't need to do it. You can do it on a Zenyatta. We've seen that a ton. We've seen even nano boost on Zenyatta to get that trance up faster. So it's so underrated that you can just damage boost whoever needs the next ult, and then you get it much faster.
Take a look at Neat on the Junkrat on defense here for the Chads, already at 30% to his ultimate. Blink, his counterpart, is only at 7%. Now here we go, we've got ultimates building on both sides. Fight is being taken straight to the point. And Mythic is showing absolutely no fear. This is their point, and they're going to bully you off of it or make you respond to them. Now it's at a position where it almost looks like Mythic, who was on the attack to start, it looks like they're defending the point.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of positioning there, and Bizon just took it. Like, he walked in, held the shield, and then as soon as they got 2 picks, I mean, he didn't even continue walking in. He knew that, hey, I just need to capture this point, held the shield up, and Bridget was the one to kind of take that space and chase the kills.
Yeah, so many ultimates on the side of Mythic right here on the attack. They're going to be playing very aggressively, keeping one person. Oh, it looks like they have a few people on point here. They're only pushing up with 3. That is a little bit scary. They don't see an opportunity to get a quick pick, and it looks like they're smartly backing off. And keep your eye out, because on the side of Mythic, we have basically 6 ults online. Brigitte uses hers, gives her team all that extra armor. You've got a Reinhardt with upwards of 600 to 700 HP. Effectively, it looks like this is going to be the first one coming out with the tire, and it's a 6K! It's a 5K, including Neat's tire. Fantastic timing by Blink there, popping it at the right time, completely destroying everything that Neat had stored there to try to keep that point up. And man, that Graviton tire combo was unbelievable.
And most of the team still has their shields from the Brigitte ult too, so much tougher to walk in. This next fight, you're gonna need a lot of poke just to even it out on the eligible side.
All right, Crash looking to replicate some shatters he saw on the other side when it was Bizeln who was on defense, who had some incredibly fat shatters. He's looking for his opportunity right here. Is he going to get it? The bubble is out. There's no bubble to stop this Reinhardt. And the shatter comes through, getting a 3K when Reinhardt's booped up. Fantastic timing coming out there. But it wasn't enough. There was no damage to follow up on it. Now Blink is going to come in, try to solve this point. But he can't do it because now Need is popping off with a 3K, 2 tanks and a Zenyatta out of the game. And just like that, just because you had Need on the field, you no longer have to worry about this point. Need single-handedly saved that point for his team.
And still getting the last kills here, staggering it, allowing Crash to get a bit too aggressive. But that's okay, you just gotta kill. If you can get out, it might not be a big deal.
It's a scary position for Serial Killer, but he does get a parting shot on the way out, getting a kill on the enemy team's Brigitte, but it's not gonna be enough. And man, I really don't think Crash had it in his head where the respawn timers were at, because by the time he knew it, he was too far forward and the entire team was there ready to take him out. And just like that, Chads have lost control at this point. This is a scary moment because now here comes the snowball, ready for point 3. Alright, both teams being very careful. Nobody wants to be the one to get picked off early. The Tire not getting any value there, doing a fantastic bubble that came out from Vex. He almost has his ultimate here. That Graviton Surge, he's really going to need to use it though because they just lost their main tank.
And once you lose that Rhine, it's really hard to get damage through that shield on the Graviton Surge. So the Grav does come out, but everyone who's left on the field can get denied by the shield there. So really good play, and they got into a lot of trouble there. As soon as that Reinhardt went down, it's just too big of an advantage for one team to have a Reinhardt and the other to not. So
and what a shame we couldn't play that one out, Dancer, because we did not get a chance to see the play of the game, which of course would have been Brent and Blink partnering up with the Graviton Surge Tire combo, getting a 5K plus a 6 kill on the enemy team's Junkrat Tire. That was just perfectly timed, right place, right time. Really, really smart play there. And then of course, Mythic took it all the way to the end, capping all 3 points of King's Row.
Yeah, and that, like, I mean, everyone wants to think that, hey, that's not too hard. You hit a Grav and you hit a Tire, but to think that Tire, through all that damage of everyone swinging everything they got and shooting what they have, to get 100 health Tire that can't be healed, that can't be shielded, into and through a Reinhardt shield isn't an easy task. It's actually something that's quite complicated. You have to know what you're doing with the Tire to try and not get it destroyed by a single fire strike or anything like that. So that is really smart play. No matter what people want to say that the Zarya set it all up or that it's easy with the Grav, it's not an easy thing. When there's 6 people trying to destroy your 100 health Tire, you can really lose your play of the game very easily.
Yeah, and it's important to think back, you know, what allowed these teams to get these fantastic combos, right? Because not all of the fights were won by fantastic combos. A lot of times we saw maybe 1, maybe 2 ultimates invested, but it was more just really strong team play, focus fire, and then fantastic healing play. There was so much support that was coming out there, and it comes back to, you know, your tanks can't do their job. You could have the best tank on your team, they cannot do their job if they're dead. And that's when you see people like Podgy, that's when you see Donna's coming in, popping off for the Chads, really, really showing off what they can do to support their team and enable them to do the correct things. Of course, we saw Jessar with some fantastic trances on the other side for Mythic. So very, very fast-paced games, but just keep your eye on these supports. They're enabling their tanks to do all of this work.
100%, yeah. And the supports, I mean, every character is starting to get, as the game gets a little bit more balanced, every character starts to get a little bit more important, and you realize that, hey, it's not just the DPS popping off that wins us the game, it's the healer that keeps them alive, or the tank that buys them the space. So definitely massive appreciation for these healers keeping their teams alive.
Looks like we are going to have a pharmacy duel. Pretty much similar things coming out from both sides, but take a look at Blink on the Doomfist here. All right, so very quickly the Chads are taking over high ground, not doing too much with with it right now. They don't have to, but here comes a dive going right in for the enemy team Zenyatta. Is he going to be able to make it out in time? No, he's not, because, I'm sorry, Serial Kill is the first one to go down. And now Podgy's going, this is going to be a full team wipe in the wave Mythic. And again, this goes back to what we talked about before. It's not always about the sick, you know, 6-man, 5-man kill grabs. It's all about how good your team works together as a unit. And if you're going to be running dive, that is the most crucial time to work together as a unit. If your dive is even slightly off against a great team like the Chads, you are not going to get any value.
Yeah, and especially running dive into the Brigitte is not very meta right now, so to pull that off on your first attack when you don't have any ults is a very big deal.
Alright, so the Chads taking the long route, trying to get into the side area there. They have a little bit of better momentum coming from there. They're forcing the enemy team to meet them on point, but it doesn't look like it's going to do too much work because Brent is just for free above, pumping out as much damage as possible. Gets the conk! Vex gets pushed out by Brent into traffic and immediately hit by a car. And as we see, it looks like Yo Mama wants to mech up very quickly, trying to die or potentially switch heroes here. Not really sure what it's going to be at this moment. Yeah, he just wanted to get his mech back as quickly as possible. He does have the Diva Bomb available, and we're at 70% cap for Mythic. At this point, the Chads haven't showed any way to walk in and get value from their heroes. McCree is great and all, but if you don't have the high ground, and if you're getting dove on by several tanks coming in immediately to your face, you're not going to get any value there.
And look at that awareness, checking his corners until he sees what a Pharah is.
And then me pops up getting a 2K, and then immediately Yo Mama gets a 2K as well. Kills are being traded back and forth. There's no telling who's going to keep this point. And at this moment, it does look like it's going to be Mythic hanging on to the point. And yeah, let's rewind time a little bit. How about that McCree play? Vex had the 300 IQ game sense to know what to expect. Not only did he know that the enemy team had a Pharah ult available, he knew where Pharahs like to stay, and he had his eyes on that position, completely nullifying that Pharah barrage that was coming his way.
Yeah, I mean, if that Diva Bomb didn't get 2, which I mean is a pretty strong hypothetical, but if it didn't get 2, that probably would have been one fight off the back of scouting that out, because you kill the Pharah, and now Mercy has less lanes of flying around and less, you know, places to go, and you're kind of destroying her kit and the purpose of that comp by killing the Pharah. So that is one of the most crucial picks you can get, with amazing 900 IQ awareness, and then a bomb comes in and just wins the point. So very unfortunate, but still, you know what, Vex, we appreciate you and we love the effort.
And it looks like we got triple support coming in for both sides here. That is very common in the current year that we're living in, but it's not going to be great for Crash, though, because he is the first one to go down, and then Blink flying in off the new Hanzo jump gets a headshot on Vex.
And I needed me some new Hanzo today. I was waiting for it. I wanted to see it, and I'm very happy and very pleased with Blinky's start. 70% towards assault. And he definitely deserved it, hitting those headshots and body shots. And this damage is going to be so brutal walking into.
Yeah, Latukan knows where to go right now, and it's right-clicking your Hanzo. He's already 85% to his Dragon, likely going to get in this next fight here, and the next fight is starting right now. Crash, the moment he walks into this fight, he's already at half HP. This is very difficult for the Reinhardt that's on the Chad side. Then we do have Neat coming out with that Pharah barrage, but it's going to be outdone by Blink's 2-man Hanzo. Make that a 3K by the Hanzo. That is so close on that Mercy, 1 HP, but she did make it out. Doesn't really matter there because Mythic is going to hang on to the point. And how about this Hanzo play? I mean, Blink is showing a lot of comfortability on many different heroes. Pulling out the Hanzo here seems to be working.
And Hanzo's allowed to position a lot more aggressively now that he has that horizontal movement with this jump. So you see Blink definitely taking advantage of that.
Blink again getting the first kill, headshot on Adonis. No thank you. Get out of here, Lucio. Yeah, and then this is what's fantastic, and we've seen Mythic do this a few different times with the Pharah first, and now we're seeing it with the Hanzo. they're able to pump out a lot of damage, get specific targets down to, you know, half HP, maybe a little bit less than half HP, and then you have the rest of your team dive those targets and take them out. It's essentially free kills if it's done correctly, and right now Mythic is showing us they know how to do it. Another scary moment though for the Chads here. Take a look at Blink and Brent. Yep, they want it, and here it comes the Dragon and the Graviton Surge combo getting a 3K. This is all she wrote for the Chads. No chance to pick up this point.
And a last-ditch effort from Pharah and her Mercy, but it looks like it's going to be to no avail. Very strong showing on the Hanzo there. That's very effective, to say the least, especially running it into the pharmacy. He got, I think, only the one kill against the actual pharmacy comp, but like you said, they were using the Hanzo very much like you would use a Pharah to do a lot of the initial tank damage and then dive on the front line and back line that's stuck on the ground. So it was just so effective, where Hanzo was actually getting a lot more damage than Pharah was. They got their ult at about the same time, but Hanzo damage is obviously going to be more focused, whereas Pharah is more splash based.
And Blink again Blink once again showing off all of his bona fides, switching heroes again back onto the Junkrat as Blink, but he's going to be met by Neat, and we've seen Neat pop off several times throughout this match so far. The question is, can the Chads capitalize on the damage that Neat's able to put out early in this fight? Crash getting his sweet revenge. He does get the kill onto the enemy team's Brigitte, who's been just plaguing him the entire game. She's out of the fight, and now Bislin is out of the fight too.
And that's trouble. If your Brigitte is the first one to fall, then one Ryan is going to have just a massive advantage. Crash pushes that, knowing he can't get punished for walking into the shield, takes that space, and it's basically game over for that team fight. And so they get early point, some early all charge here, and they just start building up their percentage on that point.
Yeah, Crash is going to be looking to use his Rhine Shatter basically on cooldown here. When you have a Brigitte at your back, you have a Lucian, you've got a Mercy pocket, you may as well use your Rhine Heart Shatter on cooldown, because you're going to have it every 30 seconds. Not a whole lot happening. Both teams kind of testing out the waters here, seeing who makes the first mistake, and most importantly, seeing which Reinhardt loses his shield first. That's a huge pick right there. Blink taking out Donna's. That might be enough to swing the fight in and of itself, but then Blink's not done there. Gets 2 more, make it 3 more. Blink will not stop. This is so scary. So what we saw was a very, very smart fight that came out first from the Chads. They capped the point, got it all the way to 56%, but then Mythic just got back to doing what Mythic does, and that's getting picks. And the moment you have Blink opening up with that first pick, it just enables the rest of your team to do anything they want in that position. The other team is really scrambling, maybe get a res off, maybe try to get out of Blink's path, but the moment they do that, they're not together, and you're able to pick them out one by one. All right, Shatter's available on both sides. Neat not having any of Blink's tire this time. Taking it out from the top rope is Bizland dropping a huge hammer.
Double support ults being committed, but it looks like it's coming on top on the side of Mythic. It's all just clean up from here, and when your Zenyatta has that Discord, you're just going to focus what's left.
This is something that we see a lot of times in our very high-level scrims, and we're seeing it right now. Anybody, if the Chads choose to focus down Yo Mama, or they choose to focus down Blink, whoever it may be, there's always somebody waiting in the wings who's able to pop off, and you're seeing that right now with Jestar. He's so scary, and he's at 350 HP as a Zenyatta. All right, the Graviton Surge is going to be coming out. Bislin, very, very smart there, taking out the Reinhardt, not letting that shield get any value there, and it's just, once again, cleanup duty for Mythic.
And Brent even saving his Zenyatta there at the end, throw the shield on him. That's a good bromance going on there when your tank will use that bubble to save you.
All right, so this might be the last fight that the Chads have available for this point. You should expect to see Zenyatta trying to open up early with that Transcendence. He's going to have to use it at this point because we're getting into last fight territory. No trance has popped and 3 kills are already coming in the side for Mythic. They're so far ahead here.
And Neat just gets booped right into the orbs of Jester. That's gotta hurt. Really strong showing from Mythic there, and it goes to show you that that just might be their game type, because that was super dominant on the side of that control point map.
Yeah, it's so scary with a team like Mythic. So, you know, one of the big problems that the Chads were having is it seemed like they had a good team comp. They had an idea of what they wanted to do, how they wanted to approach the problem. They had a solution in mind. But then Mythic just, you know, came in just like life and completely destroys all the plans that you had set out. Mythic is able to pop off, not just because of Blink. Remember, we saw Jester in there pumping out damage, hitting those right clicks. The Discord was so oppressive. And the moment Mythic gets even that tiny little space, you give them that inch to move forward, they're going to take the full mile. And we see that in all of the team fights. The moment a pick is taken by Mythic, all of the Chads just drop like flies. It's so fast, and that's a credit to how smart Mythic is as a team.
Yeah, and I think Bizzle just either has a better sense of when his supports have him, or he just knows when not to get in, because it looks like Crash is occasionally getting caught out just a little bit too forward, or chasing down a kill that maybe he shouldn't be. And I feel like Bizzle is showing a little bit more discipline, where he might be doing that, but it just feels less often. And I'm not sure if it's the support line or the synergy that's going on, but I think that's something that's been kind of happening a few times, where Crash has been the first one to die, either chasing down a kill or just a little bit out of position, and then he hasn't been able to be helped out of that, and then it's basically just free space from there where Mythic can just walk in and do what they want.
Yeah, and that's something that the Chads, I'm sure, are going to take a couple minutes. They're probably talking about it right now in you know, voice comms. You know, there's really only 2 questions that you need to ask yourself right now, and these are very important questions. Number 1 is, you know, why are we losing? And number 2 is, how are we going to fix that, right? It's not just enough to be individually skilled at the game. It's not just enough to have interesting team comps or maybe do something a little bit off the wall to catch the enemy team off their guard. It's responding in real time. It's high-level critical thinking in real time. And these are very, very fast-paced games. So that's the conversation that should be happening with the Chads right now. Okay, we can't get them to go onto our tempo. So how do we disrupt what, you know, Mythic Gaming is bringing to the table?
And it might just be a better sense of the new meta too, because the meta has changed, but it hasn't changed on every map. So just to want to play the same thing over and over because you think it's strong might not necessarily be the best idea. But I think Mythic's coming out and they have set game plans that they're sticking to, and it seems to be really working for them. So yeah, I agree, Argy. I think you just have to ask yourself, what can we do to destroy this comp each time? And you have to look at it on a very individual level, on a map by map basis, of saying, what are they doing right on this map? Because I think they have that game plan set on every single map, and it seems like it's very hard to beat and very hard to deal with.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. And again, it can be done. You know, Mythic has lost a few team fights here pretty handily to the Chads. But the Chads just need to find ways to, you know, bottle up that lightning and then find different ways to reopen it and bottle it up again. And as it stands right now, it's a little bit slow going for them, but this is going to be a great opportunity. The Chads are coming out. They have Vex back on the McCree. Now remember, McCree was getting oppressed pretty heavily because he was on the low ground back when Mythic had control of the point on Oasis. Now Vex is in a very comfortable position. He's up top. He's behind his Reinhardt shield, and this is going to be Vex's moment to shine.
And I was getting teased with the dive there. I thought it was going to happen again, just like it did on Oasis. But it looks like they're switching off that, sticking with something a little bit more choke heavy. But running the double snipers, you're going to be able to get some good angles around the shield and on the flank.
Yeah, running double snipers, especially on attack, is not a problem. When you have Brent getting into the backlines popping off like that, it's really not a problem. But even if that didn't happen, even if Brent was taken out early, Your respawn is right there. You can switch if it's not going to work out, but as it stands right now, nobody's able to answer Brent. He gets another kill on Vex, who was recently rezzed, back down.
And to kill the McCree twice in a row is such a big deal. That's the only guy that can even slightly deal with you. We saw the Bridget try and peel. Most you can do is just block some shots, but you change your target and it's over. We see Vex now swapping over to the Widowmaker, and he wants to take this duel.
He might win it here. He has a good advantage, and yeah, Vex is able to take out Brent. Got that early body shot in the fight. Brent missing the headshot, and he really had no chance after that. But are you going to be able to take out the Hanzo as well?
Yeah, there are still 2 snipers, so you're gonna have to beat it twice every time you do beat it, so. Plus that Mercy Res, I mean, Mercy Res with Sniper is so strong because typically a sniper dies in your own space. Very easy to res and very hard to deny, so.
Trying to get the smooth as silk achievement there, and that is a fantastic Dragon. Not trying to get any kills as Blink, he just wants to clear out the high ground, and it works perfectly.
Now Brent taking the high ground back, got on a massive flank. Denies the res, that's so big.
And right-clicked into oblivion as Brent, I think maybe he lost track of where Donna's was at that point. It's not going to matter too much because Donna's is going to be taken out by the Moth. But what a fantastic... That was truly a zoning ult by Blink. I know a lot of people say that when they just whiff, but that is what you call a zoning ult right there. Removing high ground control from the Chads, forcing them to either drop or occupy a bad position, and then it's picking up the pieces after that.
Mythic does have sights here. They know what's going on and they know where the positioning is.
All right, with a fantastic 0.69 meters left to go, there is going to be one final team fight. The Chads are trying to put everything into this. First to be invested is Donna's with his Transcendence, but nobody's getting any kills during it. The Graviton Surge does come out there. Don't really need the Dragon because Brent's on high ground, taking out everybody with that scope. 300 damage to the enemy team's Widowmaker when he hits that headshot. I mean, Brent is just really, really oppressive to the enemy team. There is no place you can peek that's going to be safe from a player like Brent. So either Vex needs to pop off here, or we might see a switch to full dive on this final point. Having the high ground is very, very important here.
And they swap to that Genji. It feels like it's to deny the double sniper. You do need somebody to kind of dive, but he's going to be caught out alone a lot.
All right, Need pulling out the blade here. He does get one kill onto the enemy team's Reinhardt. Can he get another one? He is able to take out the Zenyatta as well, and that's exactly what the Chads needed, an opening to take out the entire enemy team, given to them by Need on the Genji. Fantastic play there. And that is such a crucial moment too, Dancer. If you don't have that team kill that happens right there, the enemy team has been snowballing you so hard, it's likely they would have walked to that final point for free. But as it stands right now, Neat completely denied that steamroll move, and now we're in a much better position for the Chads.
And some swaps coming off. Neat getting off that Genji onto that Junkrat, and now Brent's on the Tracer to harass this backline.
Dragon coming in, you know, this is just to be expected from Blink. Getting all the value in the world, taking out with a headshot is Blink onto Donna's. Not enough getting the 2K with the Dragon, has to get a parting kill onto Donna's as well.
And Blink is, I mean, really aggressive in his Hanzo positioning there. Runs up the wall and gets into the backline for free the same way Tracer would, but he's doing it as a sniper.
Yes, so much mobility is given to Hanzo at this point, so he can go anywhere that he wants at any time. Is Crash going to be able to get a giant shatter? He does get the shatter off, but nobody's there to follow up.
And Blink really showing up these 2 times he picked Hanzo. Definitely is one of those Hanzo mains that you don't mind having on your team in solo queue. Just doing so much work, and the thing is, when they go aggressive, they're just not getting punished, which is a big no-no. So if you have snipers that are aggressively positioning like this, where they're getting into the backline for free, if you don't get on them before they get a kill, the damage is kind of already done, especially with this new mobile Hanzo. He can just kind of jump out when he starts to get noticed. But that fight, he kind of was just let in the backline for free, and there was so many other problems. Not to say that they just didn't notice him or they ignored him. It's just they're creating such a ruckus on the side of Mythic where this Hanzo can do whatever he wants in the backline. And Brent definitely showed up doing almost the exact same thing on Widow at the very first point. They're building these crossfires, but instead of doing like a left-right crossfire, they're doing like a spawn camp crossfire where one sniper is essentially walking into the enemy spawn and then shooting them directly from the backs, while the other sniper is with the team shooting them from the front. And you can't shield both directions, so very, very effective on the side of Mythic Gaming.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see how the Chads respond here. I mean, it's this entire time, and in most of these maps, you know, Mythic Gaming is a wet blanket. Once they get draped over top of what you're trying to do, it's very hard to punch your way out of it. They're so oppressive in their ability to confirm kills, and even if, you know, players like Blink, players like Brent aren't popping off, you have that fantastic focus fire to get in those kills, those kind of, you know, chip them on down kills. So now the Chads have to be able to walk out and either pop out on their own or try to figure out how to make this Brigitte Reinhardt combo work, because it has not been working so far for them.
One thing I'd like to note is that Adonis on the Zenyatta did such a good job of actually dealing with the snipers. I think there's a few times where he got that 5-stack into the body to get a free kill halfway across the map. So having him swap off onto the Lucio might not be the solution here.
Yeah, and you know, Reinhardt, if you're on attack here, Reinhardt is essentially completely useless for this first part here. The only thing he's there is to get that 2,000 HP up, but his barrier is taken out very quickly, so Crash is going to have to pull back, let his barrier get back up. Vex on the flank here. Is this going to work out? Because the Hanzo knows you're there.
Well, the thing is, he's being pressured so much more than Brent was. Brent was allowed to do what he wanted in the backline for free. Look, Vex has the entire team chasing him. I mean,
Star gets the right click from downtown.
But it looks like while that's happening, Chads get the advantage on point. They were kind of 2-man down because of that flank. And it's hard to say. It looks like it wasn't worth it. No.
That might not have been worth it. You know, you take out the Widowmaker there, but you're absolutely right. There was 2, I think potentially 3 of Mythic who had gone into the backline to deal with this Widowmaker. It is smart to take her out, but if you're going to be sending 3 resources to take care of 1 resource on the enemy side, your front line is severely lacking, and that gave the Chads the opportunity they needed to walk in and cap the point.
And here's the thing. Mythic doesn't have a Lucio, whereas the Chads do. So when you're up 5-3 on the front line, all you do is hit speed boost and it's kind of over.
Brent taking out Vexinus immediately with the headshot. Another fantastic shot coming out there, but now Trance is going to be popped, trying to keep everybody alive as Podgy. Everybody is staying alive on point, but is it going to do anything with that shatter coming through? Can he take anybody out? Gets the block as well!
That was probably the most perfect ride play he could have done. Gets the big shatter and blocks the big shatter all in the span of 3 seconds. Kudos. Big time to Bizzle. Big
brain plays by Bizelm. And again, that's not something that just happens with luck. That is something that Bizelm knew for a fact. I'm sorry, that parting shot was absolutely disrespectful, but Bizelm knew for a fact that since he had his ultimate up, since he had Earth Shatter up, he pretty much knew that Crash had it as well. So finding the great opportunity to hit that shatter and knowing the counter shatter is coming, I mean, really fantastic, smart play by Bizelm there. And we're getting another position where Mythic is in this fantastic defensive spot. Very, very aggressive like we've seen them, but their aggression is not being answered, so they feel comfortable standing here. But Nita's going to be coming in right now, trying to get the Zarya Graviton Surge. Both Reinhardts are down. They are not going to be any help in this fight. There's no shield to stop the damage coming in to that Graviton Surge, and it looks like Nate's going to clean up all on his own.
And there was actually the double grab there. Both Zaryas grabbed. Unfortunately, Blink got pulled into the grab, and his Dragon got too close and actually didn't make the cut in being damaged towards that grab. So that kind of lost him the point there. Unfortunately, he got pulled, but a win's a win either way, and you got 2 ults out of the way on the side of Mythic now.
Another aggressive positioning mistake by Crash. He was up there holding left click and was taken out by the Widow, but then Vexinus is able to get some revenge, taking out Brent in the process.
And you gotta be really careful when they're running the double sniper, because even body shots can do a tremendous amount of work, because they're gonna be able to get behind that shield very easily.
Yeah, and that Stormbow, you know, when it comes to Reinhardt's shield, he just takes it out with the Stormbow, and then everybody's dying. Podgy taking out 2, Serial Killer getting a kill of his own, and this is going to be everything going in the way for the Chads. And Crash dropping that hammer at the perfect time is what opened it up. What a fantastic timed hammer to enable his team, and of course Podgy to be able to pop off. Vex is now just unstoppable, being rooted on by his team, gets a headshot there on Blink. The res does come in, but Vex wants that kill again.
And I just feel bad for Crash's health pool. It looks like it's always below half. He never actually gets that armor because they're putting so much pressure on him.
All right, interesting switch here by Brent. No longer on the Widowmaker. He has switched over onto the McCree, and it seems like it's paying out with dividends because he's taking out Vex with a headshot. This is Mythic's MO. They have that first kill. Can they follow up? And it seems like the Chads have figured out how to get responsive here. That first kill, that's so scary when Mythic is defending. They get that first pick, just like we saw with Brent. But then, fantastic play that came out. Crash staying alive the entire time there made a huge difference, enabled his team to win that fight and potentially win the point. Another fight coming out here right now. Jester's trying to get as much damage downrange as possible. Not a whole lot of ultimates coming in, but Bizlin is going to be looking to use his very soon. And there it is with the 6-man generous Bizl!
And he saw the shield up. I think he saw how many cracks there was. He's been playing Ryan long enough to know around how much health I would have. And he calls for the shield break as he shatters. That is, you gotta trust your team so much to shatter when you know Ryan is holding his shield up and he's not gonna let it down. So massive shatter and a good awareness and teamwork on the side of Mythic to get that team wipe with just the one Earth Shatter.
And one fire strike just got him another 25%. Remember, Bizl just used his shatter. He is at 50%. Might not need it because Yomama popping off with the Graviton Surge. No values to be gotten because the beat comes out, but then 2 kills are coming in very quickly for Mythic. And I thought that beat, when that beat came in from Donis, who popped it to stop the Graviton Surge from killing his team, very, very smart play there, but it didn't really matter. Mythic is so smart. They just wait for the beat to run its course. Remember, it does start, I think within 4 seconds, it's completely gone after using it. So they waited for it to run its course. Mythic is able to pop off, getting the high noon from McCree, and then just following up with the rest of the kills for free.
And now they have no way to dislodge this high ground. Hanzo and McCree both shooting for free, and you can even see him tagging the back line, and oh, it's a bad day to be a Zed main.
What do you do? If you're on the side of the Chads, this has got to be the scariest thing you've ever seen. Not only did we have a McCree up there, we had a Hanzo, there was a Zenyatta up there. I don't know how you beat that, so it looks like the Chads are going to be sticking onto this team comp. It doesn't seem to be working too great at this point. They have been stopped, but they do have a few ultimates online.
And yeah, they have to roll around. They have to take this high ground.
No fear. He's going to hold this high ground. He should have had a little bit of fear because Podgy gets the right click off. That's very, very scary on the side of Mythic. They lose their Transcendence. Jessar did pop it to keep this team up, but now the Graviton Surge is coming in. And Mythic just, they never panic. Look at this. Not only the zoning that they're able to do on the enemy team, but the positioning that they have when they feel this aggression that's starting to come in from the Chads. They get into these fantastic positions. Only 2 tanks were really caught up in that grab, so there wasn't a whole lot of value to be gotten from Neat's grab on the attack there. Mythic just taking a step back, waiting for that push, and then just laying in damage. I mean, you even had Blink throwing out his dragon just to keep everybody alive, create a little bit of space there. Overtime is coming in though, and it looks like somebody was able to touch. First 2 kills are going in the way of the Chads. And all Crash has to do right now is stay alive. If he dies with that Earth Shatter, that is going to be devastating for his team. But as it stands right now, his team is popping off, keeping him alive and getting plenty of kills in the process. What an incredible last point push by the Chads. They were able to get everybody on point. They got a few, maybe a little bit lucky kills. It seemed like on that one, Brent did not expect the Zenyatta to be up there as well. Brent getting right-clicked at the start of that fight was such a huge deal. Remember, he is one of the best DPS that we've even seen. Certainly, you know, up there with Blink on Mythic, you know, trying to figure out who's the best DPS between those two. We could be talking about that for hours, but with a player like Brent, him going out that quickly is just so much damage that you don't have. And if you're on defense, if all you need to do is have that stopping power, losing your McCree essentially destroys that.
100%. Like, and we even identified it before it happened, that high ground, getting that damage over the shield, it's not a big deal on approach, but as soon as you get to cart, that shield does nothing for denying that high ground. It's not dive. You don't have that mobility. You can't just take it away. So they had to do what they did there, knock Brent off. He did get rezzed and ended up actually fighting and making a big difference in that fight, but you had to. It was a win condition. It wasn't like the comp was just played so well on the side of Mythic, using that high ground to their advantage, knowing there was no way to deal with it. It was amazing plays on both sides to walk up there and Podgy hitting that 5-stack to just immediately deny the McCree his life. That was a really big deal.
Really big deal. And for the Chads here, you know, you got to ask yourself, you know, how are we going to respond? If you end up switching onto some sort of dive, what you have to understand is if you're going to be going up against a player like Blink on Hanzo, if you're going to be going up against a player like Brent on Widow, right? If you dive in, you can guarantee that your monkey will absolutely take a headshot on the way in. So then you have to ask yourself the question, okay, can we play dive with a 300 health Winston? Or a 200 health Winston, right? The answer is probably no, so let's not try it at all, right? And that's what's so scary about Mythic. Anything that you want to do, even if you're good at it, they're so strong. Their compositions are strong, but individually they're so strong that it changes how you even approach each map. And it is going to be Mythic on the attack here. We do see the wins. I mean, Mythic has shown that they feel pretty confident. We've seen them on dive. We've seen them on that, you know, triple support, double tank, and solo DPS. So Mythic showing off that they can do a whole lot of different things. The question is, the Chads holding on Hanamura defense here, how are they going to respond to what they expect out of Mythic? Neat is being switched onto that Hanzo, and it is defense. 10 seconds left. There's no chance for him to change, so you know he wants to be there.
And this Hanzo has a lot of good play, but the double sniper coming out, so he will be at a bit of a disadvantage here. Double sight lines and definitely a target on his head. Once Neat is down, the snipers will be able to take infinite position, so he should be playing very defensively.
Not listening at all with the aggressive positioning, and it does pay off, taking out Blink very quickly, but that's not always necessarily going to be the case. We've seen Blink's ability to pop off there, and if Neat isn't careful, he might be taken out early in the next fight.
And he did win that duel and denied that Hanzo his positioning. So Blink wants to take this ledge because then he's going to be doing what he's been doing all game, and that's getting damage over Crash's shield. But Neat not allowing it is going to be the difference of a team win here. So although he is aggressive and it is a little bit scary, I think if he doesn't do this, it could be a very easy loss.
Yeah, meeting the aggression with aggression on the other side did pay off the first time, but then this time Blink gets the better of the duel, taking out Neat. That's a huge deal. We're in a 5v6, which is heavily advantaged towards the attacking side.
Big advantage,
Crash,
but
getting the shatter, getting multiple kills with his Crash can't stop. What I thought was potentially a questionable pick, having Podgy on the Ana. Ana's very, very scary at this moment. If the enemy team has mobility, they can take out that Ana quickly. Ana using the nano onto Crash, completely saving the point there. Fantastic play by Crash, and heads up timing by Podgy.
And Neat denying the flank again.
Oh no, but here comes Transcendence. Is Jessar trying to buy his team time? Yes, he is, but is it going to be time well spent?
And Crash blocking the shatter there.
Completely blocked by Crash. Fantastic play so far by Crash.
You know, those space dragons, it's over. The gravity, the dragon, all combined, that's a free team wipe. Ask anyone in their comp games. It's a story older than time. And Crash, make my day.
Do it, you won't.
Make my day, buddy. And the last time this was gonna happen, we got baited and saw a little charge. but I'm really, really hoping that this time they don't check their corners and Crash gets one for the highlight reel.
Well, we're about to find out right now because here comes Mythic Gaming. The whole team is there.
Oh,
And the Shatter's
no.
with a 86-man Shatter. And a fantastic Animate hitting everybody. I mean, you didn't even need the Animate, but what perfect timing and execution by the Chads. They have shown that if they switch onto this hyper-aggressive style, it is really throwing Mythic for a loop.
And, I mean, that's the best reminder of why a Reinhardt's job is to check his corners. So, especially a more basic one like that, I'd expect Bizzle to check that. Especially if you don't see a Reinhardt in choke, assume he's hiding and trying to do something like that to you. But very big play by Crash there, using one ult and getting a full 6-man wipe.
All right, Graviton Surge does come out here with the Dragon, but it's going to be completely nullified by the Transcendence on the other side. It doesn't really matter because, remember, Transcendence is only doing 300 healing per second, which is a lot. But if you dump all of that damage plus the Hanzo Dragon, it doesn't matter. You're going to die through the Transcendence. We saw that happen, and now it looks like very offended Mythic Gaming coming in and showing why they were so oppressive in those last few maps, getting the kill, getting the team wipe, and getting the point. Jester just right-clicking people into oblivion. He will not stop with these right-clicks.
My ultimate is charging.
Yeah, a couple of parting blows there. It probably shouldn't matter too much for this next fight here. Chads do have a nano boost and Crash available again with that Earth Shatter. Are they going to go for that one again? A lot of times seems like to instead nano boost the Zarya for her Graviton Surge. Let's see what the Chads are thinking with this next engagement.
Yeah, I think your best idea is to kind of just hold it when you don't have any tank ults, or maybe use it for the defensive capabilities when you've got a touch point.
Crash is playing the most aggressive Reinhardt, and it is paying off every time. The charge immediately had no fear from Crash and then dropping that hammer.
I don't know what they said in between maps, but this synergy between the support, the off tank, and Crash has completely changed. So he's not getting caught out as much anymore, or even at all. And if he is aggressive, it's being rewarded. So, and that's more a custom of the team play rather than individual play. So Crash, I don't know if he's playing that much differently. He's always been this god Ryan, but now his team is finally supporting him, and we're seeing the plays rewarded a lot more so.
And now Vex has Graviton Surge, but Jester on the other side does have Transcendence. But remember, if you nano boost Neat, if you give him that nano boost, he can go through the Transcendence and kill everybody. It doesn't look like you're going to need it, though. Transcendence instead going on to the Reinhardt, doing as much damage, and the Graviton Surge wasn't even invested there. And Dancer, I am still holding out for the Nano Boost Dragon Graviton Surge combo. I want to see it. I can't wait to see it, but we did not get it this time.
And the aggressive position, oh no! So many ults being committed in such a weird gazebo spot. Typically you don't see fights here, but they're getting aggressive on the side of the Chads.
And it's working out. Mythic has not been able to respond. Yeah, they did get a team fight earlier, but I mean, these Graviton Surge, even with the Dragon behind it, Mythic has no room to breathe. And take a look at the time bank. Time has been ticking this whole time. We've had essentially about a minute and a half long team fight that keeps having, trickle kills at the end of it, and it's elongating this fight out. Now there's only a minute 50 left in the match for Mythic to take the second point. As we know, Hanamura B is one of the most difficult points to take. You've only got a minute 50 left, and you don't even have a tick.
But the ult economy totally swayed here. The only ult on the side of the Chads is this Earth Shatter, whereas on the side of Mythic, that's the only one not up. So this has to be a big shatter in order to deny what's about to happen.
All right, Graviton Surge is going to be coming out from Yo Mama, trying to get as much value as possible. The Dragon's going to make that happen, getting a 3K with the Dragon is Blink. All right, so now we have all the kills coming in. Are they going to be able to cap? Is anybody going to be able to have time to touch? And there is a contestation with almost 100%. That was almost it. Crash was coming back in with his Earth Shatter. Not fast enough. He even got a kill on the charge on the way in. But that's how you take Hanamura B. If you can get that team wipe, if you can get everybody dead that quickly, there's almost no time to contest. And, the Chads threw everything they could at that point. They got that contest in at, 99%. Unfortunately, it was not enough, and Mythic Gaming is going to walk through and get 2 points there.
I mean, but that looked like a different team. The Chads definitely turning it up, showing why this is their scrim as well. And what a strong showing on everyone's side. I mean, I want to highlight Crash because the Ryan play is exceptional. I mean, he's definitely going toe-to-toe with Bizzle now and showing why he is a top 500 Reinhardt. And it's completely paying off for his team. So I think they probably went in comms, discussed, making sure that they're making decisions together. And I think now it's making a big difference. And that's why you're seeing, 7 minutes chiseled off of this time bank. And I mean, you don't see this map finished always, but I mean, 1 minute is nothing to snark at. It's definitely still winnable. And it's actually an amazing defense to whittle it down to just 1 minute.
Yeah, and a lot of props have to go out to Podgy there. Remember, Podgy started on the Ana on defense, hit Crash with the Nano Boost 2 times, both of those times resulting in a team wipe. And just what I want to know is how much healing was Podgy able to dump out on that Ana? It was fantastic. It felt like Crash was essentially invulnerable. But now what we're seeing on Mythic is they are going to be going with the Ana as well. Bizzle, of course, going to be on that Reinhardt with the Zarya. So very, very tanky comp to hold defense. And Blink back on the Hanzo. Did you expect anything else?
I'd be surprised if we saw anything else, but we're going to see this weird Hanzo duel once again. We're used to seeing the Widow duel. This is kind of new because of new meta, but I mean, they're kind of giving up the position. Neat's going to be able to take this high ground for free.
Neat's pumping out a whole lot of damage, but Blink is going to get first blood here. And then Blink taken out by Neat. Neat has high ground, and nobody's able to stop it.
And no shield on the side of Ryan. He pops that E and gets the damage out with the quick arrows. It's really anybody's game here, but definitely in the advantage of Chads. They have that respawn. The Reinhardt should be back any minute here.
Finally a kill coming in. Neat is taken down, but it's not going to be enough. Neat was able to do so much damage there. I don't think he got the kill on... Yeah, Podgy got the kill there. But he was able to dump out a ton of damage, enabling Podgy to walk in and get that assistant kill. Podgy, by the way, popped off twice. He got 2 headshot eliminations in that fight. Fantastic play, and he's rewarded with an early transcendence coming into this next fight.
And although Mythic did get, the first pick there on Crash as the Ryan, they still broke shield, so it was basically like no Ryan shield on either side. And since they did kind of give over the high ground to Chads, it was an easy win there.
The Toucan on the Ana does use the Ana boost here, trying to keep people up and trying to make sure we can get some kills in the process. Blink is the first one to pop off, getting a kill, make it 2, he won't stop.
Yeah, this is a dead push. You just call in to kind of hold your ults, not use too much more. And nothing committed there on the side of the Chads. Pretty smart. You got that Ana out of the way. You got Hanzo out of the way. Hanzo's going to be a big pain when especially if you're trying to take this high ground, because he can just pop that arrow and either split the team or do a tremendous amount of damage to you.
Transcendence available on both sides of the field. Graviton Surge available on both sides of the field. The only difference is Mythic is the only team walking in with an Ana grenade, so it is possible, even if the Graviton Surge does get a Transcendence on the side of the Chads, Toucan can just toss a nade in there, and if it's a good nade, it's going to do a whole lot of work.
And it looks like it got blocked by the shield. Don't have that Hanzo to follow up, but that shatter comes through.
All right, so Graviton Surge is being traded back and forth, and it looks like it's going to be Mythic on top here. They do get the first 2 kills. Bizzle just swinging his life away, trying to either get a kill or force the enemy team back, and the Chads are smart enough. They've seen Bizzle work. They know to just fall back and get out of dodge.
And I mean, you get that Ana ult on top of your Zen, Transcendence, and that's 450 healing per second. Your dragons are not going to be able to do that much damage. I believe it's 200 per second on the side of the dragon, so not even close to enough damage to finish and clean up that awesome grab that we saw set up.
The Toucan, very aggressive with that Nano Boost, uses it right away. Mythic knows that they have to win this fight right now because they are not favored to win, and it looks like they're able to just do it with the Nano Boost, and then of course Blink on DPS.
And Yo Mama, really smart there, gets it and just walks through the ride shield. There's not much you can do. If you start swinging at him, Neat's going to pop his E and quickly burst Bizzle down. So they kind of got themselves into one of these classic checkmate scenarios where he walks through the shield, he has so much damage that he can do, and he's basically unkillable because if you try to kill him, the rest of the team's going to follow up. So really caught between a rock and a hard place there was Bizzle.
All right, Yo Mama does have the Graviton Surge, is looking to use it, but does not see a good opportunity. Very smart play here coming out from the Chads. They want to get to that Ana. She's in the back line, and they want to take her out or at least make her move.
And that was really smart there. We saw, I mean, Yo Mama probably could have grabbed.
With Blink?
Yo Mama could have grabbed that much earlier, but if you paid attention, Blink was only 97% on his ult. So definitely in the comms, we're waiting for that combo to set it up. And they knew they'd have a chance because you're playing Deathball. There's always going to be a group up. So definitely some very, very clean comms going on the side of Mythic.
All right, so this is when the Chads need to respond. They do have Crash. He is available with his Earth Shatter. There's also Panji who's available with the Transcendent, so they do have Sustain. The question is going to be, can Crash pop off once again, get a multi-man Shatter, and give his team the momentum they need to cap this point? At the very least, cap a tick. You want to get something on the point B Hanamura. All right, so the teams are just looking at each other. Chads choosing not to take that fight. They are doing the full rotation all the way back behind point, trying to completely dissuade Mythic from walking into them. Dragon's going to be coming out. Everybody's running away, and then here comes Crash with the Shatter. And finally, on the side of Mythic, their Ana, Latugan is taken down. She is out of this fight. I think that's one of her first deaths of the match. And now all the kills seem to be going in the way of the Chads, but don't count out Mythic too quickly on this one.
And I mean, every kill ends up being a big deal because Chads didn't get that big 6-man wipe that we saw on the side of Mythic on their attack. So stalls are going to be a big deal here. Every pick ends up being to your advantage.
Blink switching onto the Doomfist, gets at least one kill, and that's all you need to do. A 1-for-1 is more than acceptable on defense for any 2CP because your spawn is so close, the attackers have so far to walk, that it's essentially like you're deleting them from the game.
And really unfortunate, such a strong attack there by the Chads, but that minute 20 they took for that attack only ended up getting them one tick. So a little bit rough there. You're going to need, I think, a cleaner wipe to do this. And we see Brent swap onto the Mei, and it looks like he's going to stick with that. So that's trouble too, because you're going to have that Mei all coming out to zone the point. And you're going to have a lot of stall on the side of Mythic now. And that's going to be pretty hard to deal with for the Chads.
Yeah, it's very scary to walk into that knowing that Mei is there. Remember, Mei did get her buff recently, so when you go through, your whole team could get frozen just from Mei's left click. Kills being traded back and forth between Mythic and the Chads, but Neat looks like he's got the upper hand, getting a 2K, trying to make it more.
And
this is not what you want to see on attack, though. There's too many kills taking way too long. Is this going to be enough, though? And
wow.
It finally is. Wow.
And they win with time bank by 10 seconds. So I was ready to count them out there, but at the end, they completely come through. What an amazing attack at the end there. Your Reinhardt gets walled. Basically worst case scenario, but what happened was Hanzo, Blink, who's been impressing us this entire time on the Hanzo, sends a dragon through where the wall off happens. So now Ryan has this kind of space of danger. He pushes them with his shift ability all into the dragon, gets that initial damage, and the team fight starts to sway health pool wise towards the Chads. And from there, they kind of swing it with their really good, with Neat's strong Hanzo play and clean up all those kills. So, that's what happened, but I almost can't believe it. If I didn't see it myself, I wouldn't believe it. So, really strong play with that Mei wall with Brent.
Strong.
But
yeah,
not enough.
And Brent is there. I mean, he's making good decisions, but the problem with Mei is, well, there's two problems with Mei. One is she dies if you shoot her, but the other thing is if you just walk in hyper aggressive, and that's what we've been seeing from the Chads, at the very least in the past couple maps, this hyper aggression, no fear in walking in. Mei is essentially completely useless. I mean, she's not going to be able to do as much damage as she would like to do if people are moving, you know, more slowly. She has more time to freeze. If you just walk into the Mei, she becomes irrelevant in that team fight. And one of the most interesting things that we're seeing from the Chads is when we were in a position where Crash was walking in, usually alone, or at the very least a little bit too far away from his team, he was dying quickly. It doesn't seem like they've changed up that too much. The Chads are still very aggressive with the Reinhardt. The difference is the rest of the team is there with that same level of aggression, with that same level of advancement. Everybody's pressing W, so it's taken Crash from getting picked off early in the fight to carrying these team fights.
And it's funny how the difference between one guy on your team being a feeder and basically carrying is just the rest of the team holding W. So very much so looked like Crash was kind of feeding in a lot of those fights, but it was his team who didn't kind of follow up and protect him.
So it looks like we are going to be seeing Pirate Ship here, but no Pirate Ship is needed by Brent, getting 2 kills, make that 3. First 2 with a headshot, next one with the body shot. Brent just completely opened up this point.
That's scary.
It's possible that Chats don't even know that there is a Bastion on the enemy team. They died so quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, the Bastion wasn't the problem there. The problem was Brent was clicking on heads. And that's going to be the counter.
Vex with a fantastic counter there. Walks in, gets the headshot on Brent. Not expecting to see that Widow from the other side. That's a huge deal. Vex is opening up this position for the rest of his team. Taken out by Jestar, though. Just spamming left clicks at that head level is going to work when you take out Vex that quickly.
And it looked like Vex had to open that up, but it ends up being pretty hard to deal with. Blink, I mean, you kill Brent, you still have Blink on the other alternate sniper on that Hanzo, so really hard to deal with the sight lines of 2 snipers as well as a Bastion on cart. You don't have very many places to go, and anywhere you do go, it's not going to be safe.
Yeah, this is a very interesting attack position that the Mythic has brought to the table here. Double sniper with the Pirate Ship and an Ana Zen.
And they just got the pick on the Mercy. That's so rough. You don't want to engage with
this
the
is
Mercy.
Disgusting. Brent being uncontested, which he is, because you're very busy thinking about the Bastion on point. Anytime Brent has that secrecy, he's able to get back, get those picks, and now Brent's taking the frontline approach to allow Yo Mama on the Bastion to get a full flank here. Let's see what he does with it.
And they did not expect a Bastion there. No damage mitigation coming through. I still don't know if they know where he is. That's an incredible, incredible defense there. I say defense, I guess it's an offense, but you're making the enemy walk into you, and it totally worked out for the side of Mythic.
The positioning looked so defensive. Having your mama in that position, that is certainly a defensive position, and that's exactly why nobody who was on the actual defense expected it. What a fantastic play. Mythic is showing that not only do they have an idea of how to run this comp, they've clearly done it before. They have these rotations, and they're always in a good position.
Yeah, and I mean, the key to beating any Reinhardt-based comp is just getting damage behind the shield. You see damage break comps sometimes, but I mean, if you can get damage around the shield, that's going to be a lot more valuable.
Neat is able to get some value out of his tire, taking out the enemy team's Orisa. It doesn't really matter because there's a nano-boosted Bastion in your backline. What a shame. When you're standing there as Crash, everybody else is dead. You're just right-clicking with the Bastion in turret form. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can just think about all the bad choices you've made in your life up until that point.
Just questioning what happened in your life to get you here. And once again, just sniper aggressive positioning, denying these accesses. And look at all the shield break that comes out before they even get near the cart.
Yeah, and it's not just the Bastion. Hanzo's doing so much damage there, and Crash is gonna go in, take out the Hanzo, chasing him down. He knows who the #1 target is. Now it looks like a lot of the kills are coming in the way for Chaos. Can they capitalize on this? They are taking out the Ana. Crash is trying to put everybody on his back, get somebody on his front, and it's Jester taken out by the charge.
And Crash did all the work there. Just definitely doing so much. You have this aggressive
I don't even know how Bastion got up there. Did he take the stairs?
I'm thinking maybe he used the last rocket of his ult to get up there, but it's going to be pretty hard to win this as the aggressor. Mythic might have to call the regroup here. Definitely with that ult committed.
There might be a full reset, and now we have all of the respawns coming in on the side of the Chad, so there's really no chance to hold it here. Blink just trying to build up to his next dragon before he heads out.
But what I'm wondering is, are they even going to switch off the Bastion? Because it feels like they don't need cart positioning. Typically, you switch off the Bastion when you can't get on cart. But Yo Mama hasn't been on cart all game. He's just always doing these crazy flanks, and his team is setting it up with the crossfire of 2 snipers, so feels really unbeatable. But Chads do have their footing now. It might be hard to set up these crossfires.
That's what the Chads needed. Remember, they did really well when they were the aggressors, but when you had double sniper plus pirate ship walking into you, it put the Chads on their heels. They finally got their feet back underneath of them, but can they do anything with it? Need is trying to make sure that they can get the first kill onto the enemy team's Zenyatta. And not stopping there is Neat, pulling out the bomb, getting a kill, and another kill. Neat can't be stopped. That might be play of the game, folks, because that was a fantastic play by Trace.
And he basically just switched to this Tracer, already had bomb, popped it on Bastion to deny that, and yeah, he forces the swap. It looks like it's gonna be a Roadhog now. And he's already 50% on his next Pulse Bomb, so we're probably gonna see an early stick. It might be the first ult coming out from Chads too.
What a fantastic play there by Latucan, keeping her Hanzo up when it was very likely Neat was going to get the 1 clip, but now Neat does get the 1 clip. Now that Hanzo's been taken down to the ground, getting another kill, make it 3, make it 4. Complete team kill coming in from the Chads there, and again, the moment the pressure stopped, the moment they got their feet under them, the Chads are showing off why they deserve to be here. So fantastic is their DPS right now, and it's not enabling Mythic to do anything that they're looking to do.
And Neat just being such a nuisance in this backline. He always has blinks up, it feels like, and he's always almost 1-clipping the entire enemy team.
Almost with the full right click as Jestar is saying, get out of here. Neat forces her to use her recall, so she is no longer going to be a threat in this fight, at least for the next few seconds. Now Trance is going to be coming out here. It looks like Chads are trying to invest, get as many kills as possible, but that Trance is going to make it tough from Jestar. Now kills are coming in. We've got Blink popping off, getting 1, make it 2, looking for his 3rd. The Stormbow there to take out Podgy at the very end, not necessarily needed, but just in case, trying to get as many shots off in as short a time as possible. 1 minute left on the clock for Mythic to cap this final point.
This is going to be a very rough defense. Crashing onto the cart is Crash. They commit the surge, only getting the Brigitte. Haven't even gotten the kill yet, but oh, it's all Chads coming up in the kill feed here.
Wow! Crash! He won't stop. If the left click isn't working, he'll just fire strike you from a distance. What seemed to be a complete cap on that 3rd point by Mythic was annihilated by both Crash and the Graviton Surge that came out from Vex. What a fantastic play there to hold it. We've got 24 seconds left, enough time for 1 more good team fight.
And the stun comes through.
This is
gonna be the
happening?
final. This is the final team wipe.
Just like we said so many times before, watch out for that Brigitte. She gets the stun off. Crash gets the fantastic, very, very thick shatter for free. And there was nothing that Mythic was able to do. There was no way to respond in that moment.
You just feel so helpless when you're trying to get your regroup. You got your last fight coming out, so you're coming on the cart, and the next thing you know your only defense against that big fat shatter gets stunned and it's over. So really strong showing by the Chads there, and they actually denied the finish of the map on the side of Mythic. So this is the first time Mythic hasn't finished a map. So I think Chads are getting stronger and stronger as they're playing and sort of learn the way that Mythic likes to play, because they play in a very aggressive style, and it's not 1 or 2 DPS. The entire team is always doing these really, really smart, really unique flanks, and they like to position in strange places to give them these smart crossfires. But it looks like it's starting to be punished a little bit better as the awareness is getting turned up on the side of Chads.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's the most impressive about the Chads. You know, they started off a little bit slow. It almost seemed like, you know, they were giving Mythic this type of rope-a-dope. Let them come in, let them punch themselves out. You learn a lot about their form, what they're able to accomplish and what they're trying to accomplish. And then you come back in the later rounds. You know, we're in, I think, the 4th map at this point. The Chads have shown that they were able to see what it was that Mythic was doing, how Mythic was winning, and they have responded. And I love the way that the Chads have responded. They saw that Mythic was hyper aggressive, so they returned the favor, and it's been working for the Chads.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing the real Chads, like the Chads that are supposed to be here. You know, they didn't show up until a little bit late, but now they're here, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. All of them are playing so well, and it's not just to say the DPS is finally doing it right or the tank line's finally in order, but every single one of them is just doing their job, and they're doing it the best they can. Like you said, we saw Jester on the Ana earlier, who was just hitting those, or it wasn't Jester, sorry, it was Podgy, hitting those anti-heals every time, so everyone on the team is now doing their jobs, and it's looking really good.
All right, so we are going to see a Widow v Widow duel. It is going to be Brent versus Vex. Once again, we've seen this before, and we're going to see it again here. Who's going to get the first pick? Let's find out.
It's the double sniper versus the double sniper too, actually.
That is not what you want to see. Latucan taken out very quickly, but then Brent is taking out Vex, getting some revenge for the Fallen Mercy. Not the time to res because Brent's right there. Podgy not expecting Brent to be on that flank, taking out with the headshot. And Brent won't stop, getting another headshot. That's the third kill for Brent in this team fight.
And Brent consistently gets one free kill when he's in the back line and people don't know. He lines up that shot, he takes the time to actually hit it properly, and then he gets a free kill very often on his flanks.
All right, so Vex in a fantastic position. That's where you want to see your attacking Widowmaker all the way in the back, taking shots down range, and it seemed to be working. Blink is taken out very quickly by Vex. Look at all the cover. Not only do you have that car cover right there, but you've got the entire team in front of you. It's very difficult for anybody on defense to respond to Vex in that position, because if you want to get there, if you want to dive, you've got to go through the entire enemy team to do it. And I mean, that much time given to Vex is way too much, because now Vex is being the impressive one, hitting these shots, taking out the snipers one after another.
It does look like that last fight was not committed to as much, so Chads aren't going to get the same chance that Mythic was given to just spawn camp here.
Podgy knows where the res should be, and it's on Vex. Vex is back in the fight, but then we've got Donis coming in with the Bastion ult, not getting a whole lot of value, but is able to get a lot of space for the team to move. Is anybody going to be able to do anything with that space? Kills being traded back and forth between both teams. Vex again taking out a sniper. This time it's going to be Blink. Watch out for that Moth. That Moth has killed plenty of fantastic Widow mains in the past. You really want to watch out for that thing flying at you.
And if you miss that first headshot on the Moth, you know the duel's done. You got to get out. But good job on Vex. Got out with, I think, 50 health. Gets topped up and then re-engages.
And take a look at this switch by Blink. Was on the Hanzo, switched Shimada Brothers, and is now on the Genji, but doesn't last too long, taken out very quickly by me. And now what we saw was Mythic's MO is the Chads coming out, dominating with this double sniper tactic.
But they're coming out a lot more defensive, so when we saw Mythic on the side of the double sniper, their snipers were essentially spawn camping or just holding chokes. Now, Chads are kind of letting Mythic kind of get out of position, use their abilities to get to him, and then they're just winning the duels. We've seen Vex really turn up and win every single sniper, or it feels like almost every single sniper duel here, and he's just letting Brent engage onto him.
Bad positioning for Vex here. He does get taken down, but no commitment is going to be coming in from Blink. Does not want to go in and get taken out himself. Vex rewarded by that smart positioning, pulling back, getting the kill into Yomama, opening up the fight, and this is what the Chads need to be doing. Getting these kills one after another on the back of Vex with these fantastic shots.
And like I said, Vex is just so defensive. He's holding his hook shot to get out all the time rather than using it to get to a shot. And so he's allowed to stay alive longer, and he's hitting the shots when he needs to.
Blink is on this Genji, trying to get the blade, and it looks like Latucan is on the Ana as well, looking for that nano, but none of it's going to matter. The Chads are playing their game and forcing Mythic to respond to them, and as it stands right now, Mythic can't respond, at least not to Vex with these headshots.
And I mean, scoped in with an Ana is not where you want to be when Vex is looking for you and trying to take names. So really strong showing. And I mean, this is the second map the Chads have picked up in a row. So I think as the night goes on, they're either adjusting or they're getting warmed up, because this is a completely different team than we saw at the beginning.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting to see. And, you know, Mythic is still showing this off. They have their fantastic DPS. The only thing that's happening that it seems like is happening now is, you know, the kills aren't coming in as quickly for Mythic, right? They're not getting these first kills a lot of the time. So what's happening is these team fights are just lasting a little bit longer, maybe 5-8 seconds extra. But within that 5 to 8 seconds, the Chads are able to walk in and just dominate. You give them that extra time, and they just take advantage of it. And we saw that on Junkertown Attack. You know, these picks were not coming in as fast as we saw before with Mythic. Now, for Mythic to get back into this game, what they need to be looking for is get back to their roots, which is essentially Blink and Brent hitting headshots all day long. But Ilios is going to be a little bit different, I think. Ilios is a very interesting map. There are a lot of choices here. You know, we see Widow a lot on Ruins for Ilios, but we might be seeing some more Death Ball. I'm very curious to see if we get back to a tank-heavy comp, or if we're going to be seeing this, you know, double sniper duels continue on.
All I can tell you is if we see a tank-heavy comp, I will cry if I don't see some glorious, glorious boops. Because Ilios, I live for that well, and I live for those environmental kills. And in this meta, I think being a good Lucio booper is definitely going to come... You're going to be able to just pay out on Ilios with all those really tasty, easy ledges. So I'm hoping that, yeah, it is tank heavy, but more importantly, I'm hoping that Lucio gets thirsty for those boops.
And it looks like it's going to be Lighthouse, another fantastic environmental kill potential here. But the question is anybody going to be worried about getting those environmental kills, or are we going to get kills the old-fashioned way? It seems like both Mythic and the Chads have shown that they're able to just pop off individually. So we might break your heart here, Dancer. We might not see the Lucios coming out yet. Oh, Latucan is thinking about it, but of course we never know until those doors open.
Yeah, and Latucan is, you know, trying to make me happy, and good job on you. I mean, I want to see the boops, and especially with a Brigitte-dominated meta, everyone's so mad at her. I mean, she's a good boop target too, so put her in the well, you know, get your anger over with. And I guess on this one, it's going to be put her over the edge, but definitely still in a good environmental map. But shouldn't be too focused on that. I mean, if Lucio feeds too much, it'll be really, really rough.
So we do see a Mercy that's coming out on the side of the Chads, but there's no Pharah. This actually is a pretty good Pharah map. Of course, Mercy can do so much more than just pocket a Pharah. And it looks like the Mercy's not even going to be in the conversations. Podgy, who was on that Mercy for the Chads, switching on to the Zenyatta.
And if this fight comes to sort of crashing halt where they crash into each other, Mythic definitely going to have the big advantage here because they are running the Reaper.
And Mythic knows exactly where they want to be, is on the point. Force enemy team into your Reaper, into your Reinhardt, and most importantly, into your Moira, so she can get coalescence within about 30 seconds. And the first kill is going to be an environmental kill by Latucan, taking out the enemy team. Sorry, that's a huge deal. Is it going to be enough, though? Because now it looks like the Chads and Mythic are both showing some life here. But at the end of the day, it is going to go to the Mythic. They're going to be getting the first point cap onto Ilios Lighthouse. And with the new Lucio wall ride, you essentially never have to pay attention to anything you're doing. Hold spacebar and look wherever you like. Do whatever you feel like you want to do.
Enjoy the sights. Yeah, I mean, a lot of negative feedback on that new Lucio, but...
Well, we'll have to consider that a little bit later, because it looks like Bizzle wants to start this fight off right, and he's getting the Earth Shatter. Does get two. The block comes in from the enemy team's Reinhardt, but it's not going to do enough. Crash was not in a great position there, and now he is a man without a family because he is all alone.
Jester gets trapped, but gets out alive. And
Bizzle!
And that's what a Reinhardt can do when he has infinite heals. So Jester already 40% when he used that Coalescence, not even to engage, but in the mid fight. So just basically cleaning up that healing in the end fight got him almost 50%. So we might see another Coalescence coming out here very soon.
Bizzle with a suicidal charge into the enemy team's Reinhardt, knew that he had his Earth Shatter coming up. Is he going to be able to use it? Might not need it because some kills are going in the way for Mythic.
But he does commit it, didn't hit it, so now it's gonna be gone from his arsenal.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see. You know, typically you want to take those short shatters. Those short charges. That was a very long charge. But Mythic is able to cover up on that one. They do get the team wipe there, but that was a scary moment for Mythic. If they were going to lose the point, it was going to be right then. These poor Reinhardts cannot do anything. They're just being fought from every angle. They're getting booped from every angle. It's so difficult to get in there and just do your job. First kill coming in, Podgy getting a huge pick there. Now it looks like Junkrat, Neat on Junkrat is going to be able to follow up as well. Is Brent going to be able to hold this point for his team? Death Blossom coming up. He wants to use it, but this might be over. Very smartly does not invest there, saw that the writing was on the wall. His team had lost that point, so saving the potential team-wiping Reaper ultimate is going to be Brent. Very, very smart play there, but he doesn't have a whole lot of support coming in with it. No other ultimates are going to be available for Mythic in this fight.
No other ultimates, and Serial is going to be able to deny it very easily if he hits that shield bash. So coming up every 5 seconds, very hard to track that ability. You're going to have to find a very slim window to get work done with that ult, knowing that it could be denied in an instant.
And just like you called out seconds prior, it looks like Brent did want to get the kill there. The moment he popped his ult, yeah, the shield bash is just a little bit too strong. Being on the cooldown, he just got popped out of it right away.
But you see the problem is here, that's the only stun on their side, so I feel like you probably could have waited and as a team track that ability. So going into a team fight, you just say, hey, I want to use my ult. The only thing to deny it is a shield bash. Can you guys help me track it and call it when it happens? And as soon as it happens, whether you're in position, ideally, or just a little bit out of it, you can pop that ult and get a lot of benefit. But it looks like they're switching on to McCree. High ground's going to be very free here, and they should be able to get tons of ult. Tons of work done here.
And Mythic only needs one team fight, but look at this. We have 70% already capped. That was so fast, and now the fight's gonna happen right now, and it better happen right now, because this might be the last fight of the match. Beat being dropped by Donna's, buying his team as much time as possible. Everybody's staying alive, but then Brent is taking out the first kill, and it's gonna be on Podgy. Brent getting another kill, taking out Crash. This is everything going in the way for Mythic.
And his positioning is insane. He just walks around the shield. Like, whether he's on high ground or on a flank, he always knows where he has to be to get damage behind that shield. And that completely wins the point here, because he does so much work. He takes out Podgy. He was 96% on his ult. So really 1 or 2 orbs into a tank, and he would have been able to change that fight. But no, it goes the way of Brent, where he gets that damage in behind the shield, gets a headshot, a body shot, and it's over.
And at that point, in the last fight, Brent was a 350 health McCree, by the way.
Yeah, so that, I mean, he's hard to kill because he has that much health, but that's the max health you can have from Brigitte shields too. So you know that no one denied it. Like, no one even tried to hurt him because he's at max health. He can't even get healed by that, right? So
it seemed like he was able to walk in very casually there. Mythic did a great job of creating that big commotion on point, and then Brent walked in. So now it looks like we're going to the well. Blink is looking for as many boops as possible. Yo Mama also wants to get the hook off, and it doesn't seem like we've got too much coming from the other side. Donna's is on that Lucio, but it's very scary to go in as a Lucio for the boops, and then Neat gets the first kill with the boop. It's gonna be on Brent. Neat's not done getting a 2K. Making a 4K. Neat will not stop. There's no reason to stop because there's nobody who's able to stop him with the 2-shot in the air is Neat. Once again, this is a fantastic performance by Neat on the Pharah. This is how you play the game.
And a little bit of aerial celebration there as he spazzes out. I mean, cause to celebrate. You definitely showed dominance in that team fight. And I love how he comes crashing down through the Arista shield as soon as they have the advantage. The McCree taken out, not much can be done on the side of Pharah, and they push that advantage as hard as they can. Definitely comes to pay out with early ult charge and early point.
Oh, that pole may have just saved your life, but Blink doesn't care with the 4K. How did he even get it that fast with the Pharah barrages? Blink popping off with the 4K. A res comes in for the side of Mythic. This looks like it's going to be a point cap going the opposite direction.
And I don't know when Chad's even grouped up enough to get taken out like that. Like, hello, Blink walks in and just does that to your team. All 4 of them gone.
So far, both of these fights have been completely won by the Pharah. So now the question is between Blink and Neat, who can maintain this level of success for longer? Neat is going to be walking into this next fight with the Pharah barrage. Blink does not have his back yet, but it is coming back fast. With the Mercy combo on the Pharah, body shot, and then Latucan comes in with the shots as well. Another team wipe coming in the way of Mythic, and really all that did there, though, was for the with the party kill as he gets moved. But for the Donnas, they were able to build so many ultimates there. So yes, it's a lost fight. They don't have the point right now for Donnas and the Chads. But it doesn't really matter. They're going to be coming in with Serial Killer on that Brigitte using the rally. There's so much HP and plenty of ultimates behind it. This is probably going to be, you know, one of the Chad's best attempts at capping the point.
And every single time he gets one person booped.
Again,
So hard to deal with.
This time with a 3K is Blink responding to his teammate getting booped off the map, comes in, gets a 3K. Brent is also getting a kill. Goodbye, Blink says to Paji, you're done. Feel free to respawn at your convenience.
And this is going to be the last fight coming up for the side of the Chads. Going to be really, really rough. I mean, they do have a lot of ults. Mythic committed a ton to that, so this is a best case scenario, but you got one fight, so if anyone gets picked here by the boop, or if anything doesn't go your way, you're going to be in trouble.
Getting the boop kill is essential. There's 4 healer ultimates coming into this fight. Who's going to get the first boop kills? It's going to be Neat. Getting a kill and then also getting the barrage onto Brent, that's a huge deal. We're in a 4v6 for this final fight. Jestar just trying to do everything he can to stay alive, but it is going to be a point cap by the Chads. They really needed that cap there to stop Mythic from taking this point. But now we're in a position where Mythic is able to walk back in with 3 ultimates, almost 4 coming in with Yomama as well. So Mythic can really pick and choose the time that they want to engage here.
I mean, Blink has his ult up, so he's looking for another opportunity. It actually looks like Chads are kind of changing up their playstyle, playing very more split than they did before.
Blake dropping down to the ground, trying to get the barrage off. He is saved by his Transcendence, but it's not going to last that long. All of the kills coming in the way for the Chads, and now we're in a nightmare scenario for Mythic. They're in a position where they invested a whole lot of ultimates that find what they thought would be the final fight. Turned out that Chads were able to hold it, and now if you're Mythic, you're walking in with 0 ultimates available. The closest thing you have is Brent coming online with the High Noon, but unless he gets a 4K at least, that might not be enough.
Yeah, that McCree ult typically not as strong on the offense. Lucio trying to get the touch, buying his team a bit more time to actually get positioning on point. So this could be big. Oh.
And the aerial superiority seems to have won out for Neat, getting another 3K here. I feel like that's a trend. Either the Chads lose the team fight, or Neat gets a 3 to 5K.
And, I mean, the Chads really owe that victory to Neat, who consistently got triple kills with every single ult while building an ult every 45 seconds. So very hard to lose the game when you're getting that kind of value out of a Pharah. So, I mean, congratulations to Neat, just absolutely dominating on that Pharah. Maybe not essentially in the Pharah duels, but definitely just getting more team value out of that pick.
And now a very familiar sight is coming out for Mythic. They've got Blink on the Hanzo, Brent on the Widowmaker. They're going with the double sniper strategy, and I think the Chads might know what's coming because they're going with the double sniper strategy as well.
And I mean, the double sniper, as soon as the Chads kind of switch to the double sniper to match, they play a lot more defensive, and it seems like it's kind of working out for them. They're very close in actual mechanical skill. So having the better positioning when you guys are both mechanically incredible at the game is the difference.
Brent getting the first kill there onto Donnas. That's going to be a complete fight ender. And then Blink, not to be outdone, gets 2 kills of his own. Within seconds, before the point even unlocked, Mythic has taken out 5 members of the Chads. No chance for them to contest here. First point going in the way of Mythic.
What a strong showing. I mean, normally 1 pick is enough for you to cap the point. 2 is almost a BM. But when you kill 5, almost a team wipe before point unlocks, that's saying something.
Yeah, incredible play there by Mythic, getting back to the roots and just hitting the shots from across map. Take a look at this poor Reinhardt. Crash has started every single fight at 50% HP. He has no room to breathe. It's not gonna matter though, because now take a look at Vex. Vex getting on high ground, doesn't really care about the team fight that's happening on point, because she's gonna get 4 kills of her own.
Wow, and the health pools were looking so rough on the sides of Chad's, but those snipers start doing some work. So even if they're hitting body shots, they were hitting the same stuff, and that focus fire, I mean, 1 body shot from a Hanzo, 1 body shot from a Widow, and that's a kill. So, and they just did it over and over and got a team wipe. So really strong showing of focus fire there.
What a fantastic counter shot. Blink taking out Vex there. I don't even care who wins this team fight. That might have been the best shot we've seen all day. Blink not to be stopped, getting 2 more kills, including a headshot on the Mercy. Blink is absolutely insane right now. I don't know how you stop him. You did get the kill, but not before he was able to take out 3 on his own.
And this is a really strange re-engage, because you have both teams out of position, kind of trying to just dominate on point.
Yeah, this point is owned right now by the Chads, and now it looks like Mythic is in a position to try to get some contesting going on the point. And that's a scary moment. Look at that. Crash getting the huge kill onto Brent, and another kill. Now Crash is taking his moment to shine, and the moment he does, Brent comes in with the headshot on Vex.
But this entire time, the Chad's building up point. So it's looked like it could go either way for so long, but in the defensive side, that's a much bigger deal, getting much more value out of that play.
Vex is playing out of his mind. This is so fun to watch, because when you talk about ruins on Ilios, it is really won and lost by whose Widowmaker stays alive for the longest, right? The first Widow to go out, she's not providing any sort of pressure onto the point, and her team is going to have a hard time walking into that enemy team's Widowmaker. Now you throw the Hanzo into the mix here, so even when Brent goes down like that, it might not matter because Hanzo's in the fight as well, and then Transcendence is being popped as well. Everybody has so much health at this point, but what are they going to do with it? The Rhine on Rhine attack, getting charged off the edge, both Reinhardts.
And Jester coming through in the duel, opts into the Zenyatta duel, and makes it happen.
Not a good position to be there. That Brigitte might boop you off the cliff, so it's not really the best place to be right now. We're in overtime. Kills are being traded back and forth, but now everything seems to be going in the way of Blue, and yeah, there's nobody else left on point who's going to be able to stop it there. So the point is going to cap over, but not before the Chads get it to OT.
And when you're playing a double sniper comp, it's, I mean, less about the ultimates and more about the picks. So these ultimates coming online, yeah, they are a big deal. Yeah, they are game changers, but a lot of the time it feels like it's just a sniper who's getting a pick and winning the fight at the start.
All right, fighting for their lives, in control of the point, but it really, really helps out if you've got Brent up there hitting those shots as he's been hitting all game long, and Vex needs to find a way to respond.
Yeah, and the more your snipers on defense hit these shots, the longer you can hold ults, and then eventually you're just going to get a really strong ult economy. So right now, Bazillon has been holding his shatter for a little while. Gonna get an opportunity to use it now, seeing as they're a man down.
Yeah, that's scary. The Chads are getting the first kill of this fight, but it is going to be res, so we're at a proper 6v6. No Mercy res available, but there is going to be the Mercy Valkyrie here trying to keep everybody up, buy as much time as possible, and enable your team to get those kills. Question is, can your team walk in and get those kills? Double Transcendence on point. Nobody's dying, at least not yet.
And neither Earthshatter are getting any value. But it looks like Mythic's the only one with 2 snipers still in this fight.
Yeah, now we've got overtime. The next fight will 100% decide who's going to be taking away this point on Ilios Ruins. But we have reses coming in on both sides. We've got kills coming in on both sides. Who's going to get the value here? And it looks like the first kill of this part of the team fight is going to be going to Blinks, and he's taken out very quickly.
And that should be it. Unable to touch. And that one actually goes to the chat, so once again, picking up the last 3 maps in this section and tying it up 3-3. So amazing job by the Chads, and I think that we're gonna call it a day. But Chad's definitely turning it up halfway through. Take that pause, have that discussion, and wow, what a change. I mean, that comes to show you, right, that it's not always about being better or being worse. Sometimes it's just about, having that discussion and saying, what are we not doing as a team? Why aren't we clicking as a team? And
the ability to do it so quickly. I mean, when you watch it happen in real time, essentially in between maps, that's what's so impressive about the Chads. I mean, Mythic was unrelenting. They were so aggressive throughout the entire fight, throughout the entire scrim. Every single map, they were hyper aggressive. But, to your point, Dancer, whatever was going on with the Chads, maybe somebody was just missing shots early and they were able to get that together. Maybe that conversation did happen, and it seems like it did because the Chads came out in a big way.
100%. And I mean, at the beginning it looked really, really rough, but I love to see team play. Team play is why we're watching scrims and not solo queue. Team play is what this game is all about. So seeing a team come together and just play around Crash, it looked like a lot of the time, as soon as they started playing around his aggression, it came out a lot stronger. So I come here to watch the team play. That's why I watch scrims instead of just watching, solo queue or watching some, streamers. There's great streamers out there, but you don't see this in solo queue, which is why you got to watch these scrims and tournaments in order to see this kind of team play.
Absolutely. And speaking of tournaments, a couple of quick reminders, everybody. Remember, Horizon Overwatch will be streaming every single night this week. This is our hype week. We're getting ready for a couple of things. Let me bring them to you right now. So we do have a tournament coming up this weekend, this upcoming weekend, and it is already full. We have 64 teams competing to find out who's going to be the best. Feel free to tune in on Saturday if you want to watch the qualifiers. We will have them available for you. And of course on Sunday, checking out the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. Very, very exciting stuff. Remember, we are streaming every day up until then. If you want to see some of the teams practice, especially high-level teams like Mythic Gaming and the Chads, we are going to be online at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one final note that I want to hit on, this is just something that's very exciting. Quick thank you to the Chads, quick thank you to Mythic. They played fantastic. They gave us a great show. But what I really want to say is thank you to everybody who's had this outpouring of support. We have just reached over 600 members in our Discord. We're very, very excited about that. And that comes from everybody who's watching. You're supporting the cast. You're hitting that follow. You're hitting the subscribe. It helps build us into providing even better content for you on a more consistent basis. And to say thank you, we are doing a giveaway, which I believe, Dancer, will be coming up, given away during the tournament. Is that correct?
It'll be on Thursday. So on Thursday cast, we can actually announce the winners. Anyone watching live will be the first ones to know who wins, and hopefully it'll be you. That'd be a great moment in the chat. But either way, we will get a hold of you, whether it's through the Discord or whether it's through Twitch, email, however. Thursday is the day. So the reason we picked that is because it's the second last day before tournament sign-up finishes. So we really, the point of the giveaway, 500 members, we're really excited, but we're also kind of promoting the tournament along with it. So we want to do that giveaway the day that the sign up finishes. So that'll be Thursday evening. We will know who the winner is.
Yeah, catch us on Thursday to see who's winning that. Let us know if you want to sign up to be entered into the giveaway. Very excited for that. And I was told I'm not allowed to sign up. I'm not allowed to win this giveaway. So, hey, there you go. You've got a slightly better chance at being the name picked. But as always, I am Argander. My great friend, fellow caster today is Dancer. We are Horizon Overwatch. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good night.